Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I hope you're all doing so well. Welcome back to another true crime and makeup episode. Today I am excited. You guys, you loved the Sonny Bean case that I covered, God, maybe like a month ago, and it was a more historical, older case, and today I've got another one a bit similar to Sonny Bean. So today we're going to be talking about Vlad the Impaler, or wait, I like to say it with the accent. Vlad the Impaler. Now, before I tell you a bit about Vlad the Impaler, I do have to shout out my dad. My dad told me to cover this case. He's been telling me for the longest time, and it was also him that gave me the Sonny Bean idea, so shout out to my dad. Alan, you're a star. Thank you. So, Vlad the Impaler is apparently the man who inspired the story of Dracula. You know, like the vampire, Count Dracula, him. Yeah. Now, of course, in 1897, Bram Stoker had created a novel, Dracula, which is the classic story of the vampire, the Count Dracula. Now, Dracula would hunt his victims and feed on them, kill them in the dead of the night. Now, Count Dracula, the novel, that is deemed by critics as the most blood-curdling novel that they had read, and also the most blood-curdling novel of the century. Now, Dracula was Stoker's creation. However, it is believed that Bram Stoker actually got a lot of his inspiration from Vlad the Impaler, who was once the violent, awful ruler of Wallachia. This is going to be one of the most insane cases or stories that we cover, so strap in. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Put the notification bell on so you don't miss when I upload, which is every Wednesday and Sunday, 7:30 British Standard Time. Thank you for all the love and support that you are giving me on my videos. It means the absolute world to me. Please, 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 if you watch my videos and enjoy, please make sure you leave a like, comment. Make sure that you are subscribed, because sometimes YouTube likes to play me and the algorithm is not always my best friend. So I'm really trying to push my videos out there. So if there's anyone that you think might enjoy my content, please send them my way. That would be kind of you. But without any further rambling and any further ado, let's get into the case and story of Vlad the Impaler. So I'm sure we can all agree, right, that there is at least one person in the world who has a lot of power that we wish didn't have a lot of power because they don't really use it for good. I think that's fair to say, and I think it's fair to say that we have and have had previously loads of people in power who abused their position of power and done really bad things, and that is very similar to the case today. So Vlad III, he was born between 1428 and 1431, and at the time he was born was when there was a great feeling of unrest through Wallachia. Now, Vlad's mother, the Queen, came from a royal Moldavian family, and his father was Vlad II Dracul. This comes quite good, actually. Now, the surname Dracul actually translates to dragon. Now, this surname was given to Vlad II after he got involved in a Christian crusading order, and the order was known as the Order of the Dragon. Kind of sounds like a really good Harry Potter film, if you ask me. The Order of the Dragon. And Vlad Jr., he had two brothers, one called Mircea and another called Radu. Now, Dracul's sort of territory was a site of constant unrest and turmoil. It was really just an awful place to be. Now, this was due to Wallachia's proximity to the Christian-ruled Europe and also the Muslim-ruled Ottoman. Now, in 1442, the Ottomans called for like a diplomatic meeting, and so they invited Vlad Dracul. Now, Vlad Dracul thought, do you know what? This would be a great learning experience for the boys, so I'm going to bring them along as well. So he wound up bringing along Vlad III and also Radu, thinking, you know, good educational experience for them both. Now, whilst Vlad and his children were just in it for the great educational experience that they thought they would have, they were captured by the Ottomans and held hostage. Now, the Ottomans said to Vlad Sr., "We will let you go, but," and this is a big but your sons, you have to leave them here. Now, Vlad's thinking for like, 5 seconds, and he's like, so I can go, but I need to leave my sons. I'm gonna go, yeah. Boys, I'm just going to take off. Now listen, it is said that Vlad Sr. had taken off because he believed that would be the option safest for his family. But like low-key, I think he was trying to save his own ass just a little bit. Would any parents leave their children? I'm not sure. Now, credit where it's due, the princes, Vlad III and Radu, they had not too much of a bad time whilst they were hostages. They learned about philosophy, they learned about science, they learned about the art of war. The circumstances weren't all too shabby. However, we could not say the same for Vlad Sr., Vlad II. So, as I was saying, back home, it is all kicking off. It's all kicking off now. Everything was up in the air. Everything was going wild. Now, local warlords known as the Boyar, they overthrew Dracul in 1447. Now, he was killed in the swamps behind their home. Now, his oldest son, he was tortured, blinded, and buried alive. Yeah, like, Vlad III and Radu's situation's looking very good right now. Now, Vlad III, he was freed pretty soon after the death of his family, and after this time, he started going by the name Vlad Dracula. Now, this meant son of the dragon. That is a vengeful name if ever I've heard it. Like, this is a man out for revenge. Now, when Vlad III returned to Wallachia, he became the most violent, cruel, and disgusting ruler of all time. This would go on to give him the name Vlad the Impaler. I should have been in Killing Eve with Jodie Comer because that Russian accent is kind of popping off, right? But yeah, Vlad the Impaler was his name. And I'm going to tell you why very, very soon. That is quite a good wing, and it's very sad to know that this side will never match. So, 1448, Vlad III returns to Wallachia, and he is going to take the throne back from Vladislav II. Stick with me, there's There is a lot of Vladislav, bear with. So Vladislav II, he was a guy that was put into the throne after Vlad Dracul's death, after he had been, murdered. Now, because Vlad Dracul's son had came back, the throne was then handed back over to him. However, before Vlad III can even get like his ass imprint in the chair and use the armrests, Vladislav comes back and he decides, actually, I want that throne again. So he takes it back. So Vladislav, he's back in the throne, back in the comfy chair, and he's loving life. However, Vlad III, he's not too happy with his position in the economy, and he decides in 1456 to come back and take the throne back for a second time. Now, he brings like a supportive group of Hungarians who help him get the throne back. So Vladislav is like, you know what, fair enough, you take it. I mean, with these guys, it was honestly like musical chairs. Like, just someone take the chair and be done, okay? It's too much. Now listen, apparently Vlad III, he wasn't entirely convinced that Vladislav wouldn't come back to try and take the throne again. So he decided to behead him on the battlefield. I guess to like send a message, but also low-key to make sure like he definitely can't come back for the throne. And once he knew that Vladislav was out the way and, gone completely, he would unleash his insane reign of terror. So soon after Vlad was back on the throne, he was like, do you know what? In Wallachia, I have some of my own enemies that I really need to deal with. Now, the people of Wallachia, they were bad-mouthing Vlad III. They were saying that, his dad was a far better ruler. He cannot keep this country under control. Bring back Vlad II. Now, Vlad was absolutely raging when he heard this news because, he's like, I'm trying my best, people. There is only so much I can do. And he believed that he was a really good ruler. But when he heard that the people of Wallachia was saying that he didn't measure up, well, That really steamed Vlad's clams. He did not like this one bit. So Vlad's thinking to himself, you know, I really need to assert my dominance here. Like, people need to know I'm the big daddy around here now, okay? No Vlad the Second, so you can forget about him. I'm the daddy. Now, in order to do this, Vlad thought, why not host a fantastic banquet? You know, like hashtag come dine with me. And at this banquet, Vlad the Third decided to invite his opposition. Drama. So the guests arrive to this fabulous banquet, you know, very eloquent, but these festivities wouldn't remain very festive for long. At least not for the guests. Not too long after the guests arrived, Vlad the Third began stabbing his guests to death. He then went on to impale them on spikes surrounding the banquet table, and once they were impaled, a lot of these bodies continued twitching. Yes. Now, if that's not grisly enough, Vlad sat at his banquet table, he took a bit of bread, and he was using the impaled twitching guests as like a dipping sauce. So he was dipping the bread into their blood and eating it. I can see now why this guy inspired Dracula. Like, I don't know why he's feeling the need to decorate with twitching bodies. Like, what happened to just like the good old-fashioned candlesticks, you know? Much better, much cleaner, just much nicer. So after this whole like slaughtering of the people at the banquet, Vlad's reputation as an extremely violent man just continued to grow, obviously. And Vlad would continue to defend his kingdom by doing the most grisliest things possible. He really lived up to his reputation. Now, just call me Curious George, right? But this whole thing was just crazy to me. So I had to Google further, you know, what exactly took place at the banquet, you know, what went down. And I came over the method of which Vlad would use to impale his guests. And what the hell did I read? Well, I'm about to tell you too. So as you're probably already aware from what I've said, impalement was Vlad's chosen method of murder. Very innovative, we don't hear that much. But what he would do when he was going to impale anyone, he would take either a wooden or a metal pole, and a lot of the time he would make sure the edges were rounded, so when he was impaling the people, it wouldn't tear through any internal or vital organs, so they would be alive for hours, if not days, impaled on this pole, right? Now, if that doesn't make your toes curl or your legs cross, this next bit certainly will. So Vlad the Impaler, he would take these poles, and the area of insertion for these poles was either the vagina or the rectum. And he would put this all the way up through their bodies until it either came out of their mouth, their neck, or their shoulders. Like, no. See, for me as well, it's even just the fact that he thought about rounding the edges so it didn't puncture any internal or vital organs, just to prolong their pain and suffering. Like, how sick and twisted can one man be? Now, because Vlad wanted to state his dominance, he did not care who witnessed these impalings, and in fact, he made it a public spectacle. You could watch the impalings, like a live action horror film. You could watch if you wanted to, you could watch over the next couple of days, or you could come and see the impaled people. Yeah, very sick and twisted was Vlad. In one case, Vlad the Third had actually impaled Saxon merchants in Kronstadt. Now, the reason for this was that they had once been allies with the Boyars. Do we remember the Boyars? They're the ones who killed Vlad's family. Vlad was very much, you know, eye for an eye at this point. He wanted to get the people who took his family away from him. Now, Vlad the Impaler, he would use this method of torture to punish anyone who displeased, misbehaved, or threatened and questioned him. However, this would not be the only method of torture that Vlad the Impaler would use. Now, at one point, Vlad, he had the turbans of the Ottoman diplomats nailed to their head because they had refused to remove them for religious reasons. And he was like, if you're not going to remove them for me, you're never getting to remove them. Nailed to their skulls. What? Now, Sultan Mehmed II, he was another man who was known for his own atrocities, and even he was shocked at Vlad's appetite for destruction, torture, violence and murder. Like, this shocked him. A man who done his own stuff that was not nice. He was shocked by Vlad. Now, I think what probably really shocked Sultan was the fact that he had witnessed 23,000 corpses of his own men impaled on stakes, and this ran for around 60 miles. 60 miles, 23,000 corpses impaled on stakes. And like, these were lined up all around the capital of Tagavista. Like, it is crazy. And Sultan would see these bodies around the capital of Tagavista because he was going to invade Wallachia in 1462, and I think maybe this just, gave him something to think about. Now, Sultan Mehmed II, he did say that anyone who would go to such extreme lengths to protect and defend their kingdom deserves to keep it. And because of this, the Ottoman forces, they retreated the next day. And I feel like I can just picture Sultan Mehmed walking up and seeing all these corpses and going to Vlad and being like, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? I know he wasn't American, but the quote that I just did is an American quote, so sorry. But yeah, I can just imagine him walking up and doing a very swift U and taking off. Now, it is stated that Vlad the Impaler had killed around 60,000 people, and around 25,000 of which was people that had been impaled. And every time he was impaling these people, he was getting his bread and, dipping it in. I don't know if he was pretending that the blood was tomato ketchup, or maybe he just enjoyed it. Now, Vlad III's bloody reign of terror would come to an end in 1462 after he was imprisoned by Hungarian forces. So the Ottomans, they had launched a campaign that they hope would see Vlad's more mild-tempered, less spiky and paley brother Radu on the throne. Now, obviously, Vlad did not want this to happen. He was enjoying his time on the throne. He was just running things the way he wanted to run them. So he wanted to stop this from happening. So he seeks help from the Hungarians, the ones who imprisoned him. So Vlad goes to the Hungarians, basically calling in reinforcements, calling for backup. And when he arrives, the Hungarians immediately imprison him. Now, the reason that they did this was because they didn't want a war to start between themselves and the Ottomans. So the best thing they could do is imprison Vlad and make it look like they're also against him the way the Ottomans are. Now, there isn't a great deal of information out there about Vlad's imprisonment, but we do know that he was released in 1476. So, at least he was released. Actually, no, because I don't want him to be released. But he was released. And when he was released, he went on to marry Justina Szilagyi. Now, she was a relative of Matthias Corvinus, the Hungarian king. The Hungarians imprisoned him. He's marrying a relative of the Hungarian king. However, this Hungarian king had actually made a deal with Vlad. He said to Vlad that he will restore him in the throne once Radu is dethroned. So they had something going on. However, before Vlad III could get back on the throne, he would die in battle alongside the Hungarians, who were now at war with the Ottomans, later that same year. Now, the Hungarians, they had obviously turned their back on Vlad before because they didn't want to cause a stir between themselves and the Ottomans, and then the Hungarians and the Ottomans end up being at war anyway, later on. Make it make sense. Now, allegedly, Vlad the Impaler would go on to suffer the same fate as his old rival, Vladislav II. Now, Vlad the Impaler, he was beheaded in the battlefield, and his head was paraded on the way back to Constantinople to the public. His head was then placed in the hands of his worst enemy, Sultan Mehmed II. Now, Sultan Mehmed II, his plans were to display his head across the city gates. Was it a warning, or was it just perfect revenge? I don't know. But that is it for today for another true crime and makeup episode. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I loved researching and telling you guys this one. I love like historical cases that no one else really covers, just like lesser known cases. I love to like bring them forward and spread the word. If there is any other historical sort of cases that you would like me to cover, then just let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Put the notification bell on so you don't miss when I upload, which is every Wednesday and Sunday, 7:30 p.m. British Standard Time. Be there or be square. Down below you can find my email address where you can send your case suggestions or just anything that you want to chat about, send it over there, or any case suggestions you can just leave in the comments if you would prefer. In the description will be my social media handles, my Instagram, my TikTok, and you will also find a list of the products that I've used on my face today with the direct links if there's anything you want to buy. They're not affiliate links, I don't get paid for them, but I just thought it's easier to link them, help you out if you want to buy something, saves you raking all over the internet. But I really hope you enjoyed this one, and until the next time, I'll see you later. Bye!